Hey everybody, in this Lessons of Dharma video I'm gonna be showing you how we made Ameno, my track together with Marnik and Roberto Molinaro. The idea came from my old friend Roberto Molinaro. He's always been a fan of this song. He had already made a great remix back in the days. He came to me about 1 year ago saying, look, I made a new version of Ameno together with Marnik, and he played it to me and I was like, whoa, I love it. Then they asked me to jump in. They were looking for a fresher sound, so yeah, I took it from there. Here's the old Studio One project before Marnik jumped in. Kick and bass at the more psytrance vibe. Then Marnik came up with super cool idea of using the triplet bass under the vocal along the lines of their last hit Gum Gum, and it became like this. Definitely catchier. Since we're here, let's take a closer look to kick and bass. The kick is a pretty common psytrance kick, not much to say about it. Then there is the sub impact filling the gaps every now and then. The sample comes from Seven Skies, and you can find it in VIP Friends of Kashmir sample pack. Yeah, the original key was F sharp, so we put it into the sampler and played it in the right key, which is A. And here's the bass. Okay, I have to say that I made these sounds together with Andrea, who's the guy who works with me in the studio, helping me finalizing many of my tracks. Just wanted to drop a big thank you here also to him. So back to the bass. It's 2 layers. The first one is again sample 1. Because we actually sampled the 4 notes from a bass line we made for another track of mine. There are mainly 2 reasons why we did that instead of re-importing the synth. It was a serum in this case. First of all, because it was processed by using several external effects. And second, not to overload the CPU because this project was already very heavy. We had over 120 tracks. For the same reason, by the way, we bounced lots of contacts instruments into Wave, which I'm gonna be showing you later. See, all the samples are looped towards the end in order not to have, the bass play at different lengths when it's pitched up or down. Then there's a second layer, which is the top layer. Here's how it sounds. As you can hear, it's a very typical bounce bass made with serum again. Let's take a look at the inserts plugins. Here we have a FUB filter compressor for the side chain. It gets triggered by the kick, of course. Here's how they sound together. First layer solo, both layers together. Let's move to the drums folder, here colored in blue. The main loop here comes from the original version. Then we had some hi-hat and a clap and a ride. Here's how it sounds together with the rest. Let's move to the bridge now. Drums are pretty much the same here. There's just a shaker coming in. And there's a couple of extra bass sounds which I'd like to show you. This guy here, for example, taken this time from the Vengian sample pack. It sounds pretty cool already, but we just added a little reverb. That's it. Then there's the S bass line made with the ABL3, which emulates the iconic Roland TB303. As you can see, there's an automation opening and closing the cutoff. And here's the MIDI sequence. Now let's check the break. There's drone bass pad made with serum. Yeah, let me show you how we made this from scratch. Let's start from initial preset. Wait, let's switch off the insert plugins. We'll go through them later. Okay, as you can see, it's a simple tutso. Let's pitch it -2 octave down. Switch on oscillator B, and the same. Then we pitch oscillator A slightly down and oscillator B slightly up in order to get this detuned effect. Now let's open Edit, Process, remove fundamental, switch on the submodule, go down 2 octaves, switch back the insert plugins. We have an OTT multiband compressor, a candle crusher, and EQ to boost like 2 dB on the 50 Hz. There is also an EQ automation. Wait, I forgot to switch on the filter module inside Serum. Here we go. Let's take a look at the strings and pads. First of all, there's a pad here. Then there's a cello string. Then a brass pad. And some more strings. And a church bell. All these stems come actually from Marnik. They did a great job with the orchestral sounds here. While the original strings, it's a bounce coming from the old version project. So let me open it up for you so we can take a look at it. Yeah, here they are. Here's the pad I showed you before. As you can see, this is 5 samples playing together. They're all from the factory library inside Contact. Short morph, soprano, tenor, and bass. On the production side, that's pretty much it. I gave you an overview on the most relevant things here. Let's move to Ableton Live, where we imported all the stems. Here it is. And build a mastering chain. I did this together with Daniele, who's the sound engineer who helps me mixing and mastering most of my tracks. So a big thank you also to him. We did not actually modify the mix a lot since I usually try to work already paying attention to EQs, compressions and volumes, try to correct myself all the potential frequency conflicts and so on. We just automated the volume on the vocal stem, as you can see here. I mean, I don't like to overcompress vocals. I'd rather, live more dynamic and follow it, let's say, by hand. Okay, after that, let's take a look at the mastering chain. On top of the chain, there is a compressor, very soft settings, fast attack, slow release, just to glue the sound together. Then, after that, another compressor, where, as you can see, we carved the medium frequencies and use the compression in parallel by using the wet and dry knob here. Well, you might not hear a big difference here, but it actually helps making it more round and fat. This guy here is an EQ, which I love. Many of you might know the Mag 4, it's very similar. We use this one to add some brightness. You see just 1 dB on the 40 Hz, and on the right side, a soft shelving on the 40 kHz. Oxford inflator, for sure you know this one. To boost the general RMS. Take a look at what we did here. We drafted an automation to control the effect level in order to increase and decrease the volume when the drop hits and gets into the breakdown. At the bottom of the chain, of course, a limiter. Well, it's actually 2. Why 2 limiters, in case you're wondering? Because I like to use this invisible limiter here, which is not a true peak limiter. And this is the reason why we followed up with a Nugan limiter to control the last dB before exporting. Ameno, Ameno. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Dharma and Kashmir, of course, for having me here on Lessons of Dharma. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Ciao.